Now, race across the world is beginning to really heat up as a bunch of teams attempt to reach the finish line. But it's one couple's marriage, or actually divorce, that's got everyone talking. Wow. Now, again, spoiler alert, they did actually leave last night as the couple in last place, but they said they decided to take on the challenge together despite being separated because they are such good friends. So is it really possible to be good friends with your ex? I'm asking you.
You're asking me?
I'm going to ask you.
Oh, the audience are very vocal on this one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And I'm very, very good friends with my ex-husband, and we still socialise. We often, with our respective partners and our son, you know, share Christmases, we've done holidays, and we're really, really great friends. I mean, I think before we go on, it's obvious to say that if anybody feels emotionally, you know, unsafe, then or physically unsafe, then obviously that's not something that's going to happen. No. But I think if it can happen, it's a wonderful gift for your kids as parents, and I feel
and for yourself,
and
it's really stressful to stay angry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I don't think, I mean, obviously there's moments where it was difficult, and you know, breakups are difficult. But I think we always had the same goal. That we wanted this to be the best breakup it could be and the best for our son. And I'm really proud that we've managed to achieve that. I think we made decisions very early on that it was, you know, we were going to always have calm communication, we would take things slowly, and it just naturally happened.
Do you think that's because of your son, or do you think it would have happened if...
I think it would have happened anyway. Look, after we'd separated, I was offered to do a play called Marriages Made in Heaven, about a woman who murdered her husband. Oh, so I rang up my ex-husband and said, "Do you fancy doing it with me?" Because we love working together. So we did it together. We had a great time.
Yeah, he's an actor as well.
Yeah, he's an actor as well. So we did the play together, which is lovely. And my son loves it. And, you know, we have sort of a lot of banter around it. You know, he'll come and say things about his dad, and, you know, knowing that I'll ring his dad up and say, "Did you really say that?" And it's so we've got a lot of fun. Well, I'm very, very lucky.
I'm lucky that I've got that relationship with both my ex-husbands. OK, it's twice, OK. But I'm like best friends, honestly, with both of them. We have Christmases together. You know, my ex-husband's staying tonight because he's gigging near me, so he's staying. And I love it, like you said, for the kids. There's no, whether it's Christmas or birthdays or weddings or parties of any kind, there's no, well, if he's going, I'm not. And they all get on brilliant. So for me, it was all about... Divorce is hard. Even if it's amicable, it's still hard on kids. Yeah. And if you can make it as easy as possible for them, because the easiest thing to do is use those kids as weapons to hurt each other. And I just wouldn't let that happen.
And there's so many...
I think that's good, because I had the other side of it. I had my mum divorced from my stepdad, and there was no talking at all. I mean, it was quite volatile in terms of... Well, she had an affair. And what happened was... what happened was then is my brothers and myself, we were always split. So every Christmas, New Year, it was go to one, we'd split up, and that became really bad on my brothers. They really were impacted on that. So I got to a point about 10, 12 years later, I said, look, you're grown adults, you've had that much separation. For the boys, come together.
Yeah,
you can be
about
amicable
for a day.
You can be in the room at the same time, because the kids did matter, because there wasn't any... You know, once people leave people, so get over that part, and then it was all about the children, and that really helped our family.
Yeah, but how do you... I mean, you know, with both of you, I do think that's admirable. Having seen children go back and forth between divorced parents that are still angry, I think it's devastating to the kids and stuff. But how do you get... And we don't need to go into the details, Colleen, as you've said, we've talked about it a long time, but you were deeply wounded by what happened. So for somebody that's watching today and is still in that place, how did you bridge from being really wounded like that to being able to be... Because that's not something you could just do,
Well, no, I think however a long relationship or marriage ends, you're wounded, somebody's wounded, or you're both wounded on different levels. But I think for me, again, it was kids, and it was seeing friends of mine who'd used their kids as weapons and how those kids were reacting. And at the time, I was blissfully happy and thought, if that ever happens to me, I'm not doing that with my kids.
Yeah.
So I kind of learnt from watching other people,
and
in
they
my
probably
opinion,
didn't even
handle it.
realise
No,
they were doing it.
They didn't, and they were doing it through hurt. But also, I went to therapy. I had a lot, you know, I went to counselling, talked through that. But I would say...
Together?
No,
Both of you?
just
No.
me.
Yeah.
But also, I would say that it took me both times, really, the last 2 years before I could leave, because I knew if I left before then, I would go back, because I still loved them. And I think it just got to a point, eventually, where I thought, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't love them. I love them, but I don't want to be with them anymore. That love has gone.
That's what
which
women
made
do
it,
in a
which made
different
it
way.
easier.
Yeah.
And once that goes for me, there's no going back. You know?
That's what I do love about women, and that's what men have got to be careful about. We can put up, we can put up, we can put up, and then there's
once we
suddenly
don't-
a point.
Yeah.
And that
And then you're
comes
done.
down, and nothing's bringing that drawbridge back
Yeah.
up. So if you don't want to get divorced, try listening better.
Yeah. yeah.
Just a little
absolutely.
tip there, phone in for free.
No, but it's true.
But it's great that we do need to see more positive.
Yeah.
Because like dramas and like documentaries and everything is always you're going to go for the difficult divorces,
I think
aren't you?
the reality you say is like, you know, well, how do I get like that if I've been hurt? And I think it's about you do have to take small steps, take some space, take some time.
100%.
Create new boundaries. And then at the end of the day, if you are a parent, the one most important thing for me was that I never, ever want my child to have to choose between us.
No.
And I think that was the most important thing.
And also to acknowledge, I think, that sometimes you're actually better as friends. You know, with mine and Ray's marriage, it just came almost to like a natural ending. There was no one else involved. It was just Kira was grown up. We didn't need... She was the glue, really. And it was just, you know, this isn't working for us now, and I didn't want to settle, and, well, we're older now, we should just stay together. I don't think that's healthy. So it was a natural end. Did it hurt? Yes, of course, but I always focus on the plus side of... There were so many great years in both my marriages, so many great years, and I would rather look at them than the last two that might have been rubbish.
It doesn't have to be angry.
And then the beautiful children that came out of it. So it's not all negative. I wouldn't change it for the world.
And humans evolve. We evolve, we grow, we change.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Some relationships run their course, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I'm still available. Anyway,
Very diplomatic.
third time lucky, guys.